This video is brought to you by Toys-R-Us UK. Use promo code TURTLETALK upon checkout and receive up to 10% off of these selected lines. That's promo code TURTLETALK. Link is in the description. What is going on, toy fan? Project Piper Customs here, and welcome back once again to a brand new installment and long overdue episode of Custom vs Official. And we have a matchup for you today. Okay, so as you can see in the ring, we have the NECA TMNT Secret of the OOZE Shredder and my custom version. Alright, so I made this guy quite a while back now, way before NECA even announced that this guy was on the way. Alright, but I was always hoping we would get them and this would serve as a shelf filler until that day came, which is now. So let's go over the rules. So this whole matchup will be broken down into 3 rounds. Round 1, we're going to be looking at painting and the paint apps. Round 2, we're going to be looking at aesthetics of the figure in terms of sculpt work. And in round 3, we're going to be taking a look at accessories. Points will be given within each round, and whoever claims the most rounds at the end will win. So let the fight begin, and may the best figure win. So coming in with round 1, and we're going to be looking at the painting. So starting off with the official, he is up first, and we're going to look at the deco. Okay, so right out the gate, we're starting off with the torso, and he is sporting a lovely rich dark purple color, and it also has a nice silver dry brush over the top to give you that glistening sheen. Now in the first figure from TMNT 1990 that NECA put out, they had some glittery spackle all over it to give it that nice shimmer. I don't actually see any glitter on this. It could just be my figure, because at the back, if you look, there is a little bit of glitter that's adhered to the underside of the cape, so it may be there, I just might not be able to see it, but that silver dry brush does pop quite well. Looking at the head, the shroud and the crown itself, we have a sort of a dulled down muted silver and a muted gold, almost an orange on mine, to be honest. Okay, and these are quite dull, they don't have as much punch, they're not as shiny as I personally would have liked to have seen on the figure, especially with the crown itself. As you can see, it's a lot duller than the actual mouth guard, which is a nice shiny chrome. Personally, this might be alright for you, but I prefer to have a little bit of shimmer with this, as in the movie itself it was actually quite vibrant and shimmered quite a lot in the light. And just quickly looking at the head sculpt, if we pull the mouth plate off, and we can see some nice lovely little details on the face regarding those scars filled in there, nice details with the bloody scratches. Alright, so nice red tones and decent eye paint. Overall, really happy with how this head sculpt turned out. Leaving that off for just a second as we go over the other areas, the shoulder pads along with the wrist guards and the shin guards are all pretty much standard, pretty much exactly the same as how we got them with the first figure, but going over the details anyway, they are really quite nice. Again, same with that brown color with a dry brush over the mesh, silver for the spikes, but I do like how they painted in the individual rivets. Okay, same as we saw before, it's just a detail that I enjoy, but as it is standard, we'll not be given any points for it. I'm just happy that there's no quality control issues going on with mine regarding the paintwork. Looking at the hands real quick, as you can see, the flesh tone does match up really well with that of the face. Sometimes that's not always the case, but yeah, we don't get the spikes with this one as per accuracy with the film. He wasn't sporting them, because in the first film obviously he had the 2 hand blades there on the back of his hand, but yeah, just standard hands that we get with this one. Currently he's sporting the fisted hands. Obviously he does have other hands with the accessories, and those are exactly the same as well. Popping him aside, we're going to be taking a look at mine. Okay, so bringing him up close. So straight out the gate, you can notice a massive tonal difference with the purple. I have gone for a much lighter tone. Honestly, not sure why. Maybe at the time it was the only one I had. I still could have dulled it down with a little bit of a matte black to get it a bit darker, but in the end, this is what I had. I had been tempted to give this a repaint before doing this video, but I thought, no, that would be cheating. That would be cheating. So yeah, not really that pleased with the color choice now looking back at it. What I have included, just like the official, is obviously a nice silver dry brush over the texture to give it that shimmer. Yeah, so using the 1990 figure as a base body for this one, the glittery spackle is coming through on the paint, which is not too bad. You know, it's accurate to the film, as that one was glittery as well, but definitely wish I'd gone for a darker tone with the body. Again, with the shoulder pads, the arm guards and the shin guards, they are factory standard almost at this point. So now lastly, moving on to the crown and the shroud. Okay, so mine does have a more vibrant metallic look, going with that chrome for the crown, matching that of the mouthguard, and a lot more vibrant and shiny gold for the shroud around his head. So yeah, metallics for the win on that one. And if we pull the faceplate off, so as you can see, I also added some scarring to the original Orokusaki head, obviously, as this is the original figure as the base. But for the colouring of the scars and scratches, I used a mixture of fake blood and a dark scarlet, and then finishing it off with a nice gloss varnish. And yeah, extremely happy with how this turned out. But there was one detail that NECA did not include with their figure that I did with mine, and I'm a sticker for details, so it really is annoying that NECA didn't add this, as they did it with one portion but not the other, and that is with the hands. Now in the movie, his hands are just as scarred and beaten as his face, and that is a detail that I wanted to add to mine. Alright, so just applying the flesh tone and then going over with some washes to achieve that battered, traumatized saw look. Okay, and again applying the wash to this hand to try and even it out to get a good symmetry going on with the face. And that is round one done, so let's tally up the points. Starting with the NECA, working our way down. Not really impressed by the paint job on the shroud and crown. Definitely could have benefited from being more vibrant, so no point awarded there. I am very impressed with the paint job on the head, especially with the scarring, so that's 1 point to them. And of course, the colour choice of purple for the upper torso is near perfect. So they definitely get a point there. Throwing it over to mine, and I am really happy with the paint job for my shroud and crown. Metallics for the win. I am also really pleased with how my scarring of his head sculpt turned out. So a point there too. Definitely not pleased with the colour choice of purple for my upper torso. So no point awarded right there. But the detail that I included and NECA didn't is of course the detailing on the hands. And that gives me 3 points, and this round is mine. Moving on to round 2, and in this round we're going to be taking a look at the aesthetics, specifically with sculpt work. So let's start with the official and bring them up close, alright? So we're going to begin from the top, work our way down. Okay, so straight off the bat we can see the crown. The serrated edge crown is spot on. So yeah, obviously you can see the jagged edge like a buzzsaw. Okay, how it comes to a point in the middle and a nice curvature on the top horn and thickness increased on the side horns, which is how it should be in the movie. Moving around to the shroud with the gold plating, and yeah, this is awesome. Again, no doubt in my mind that NECA were going to crush it as well. Okay, it is the original shroud with the gold plating on. That's how it was in the movie when you see them make it. All right, and yeah, they did a fantastic job getting all the plates down, the overlapping, the bands, and so on. They killed it with this one. Okay, so sticking with the head, get some little bit of extra light in here. Obviously it's got a big brow with this on, so it's shadowy. We're just going to remove the faceplate once more, and let's have a look at that head sculpt. Now, you never really saw the actor who played Shredder, who is different than the first movie. You never actually got to see his face in the second movie. It was always hidden behind the face guard. So this, I guess, is a good likeness to the actor. I don't really know. I don't know what the original actor looked like, but I'm guessing it looked like this. But going over the sculpt, really well done, especially all of the abrasions. Okay, as you can see here, nicely sculpted. Love these ones on the chin. Looks like he's been torn to shreds. Awesome details going on with the sculpt work. So hats off to them for the head. And moving on to the torso. Now, another fundamental change in the movie was the suit. Okay, so they made it double big with extra shoulder pads, and it really did look like the actor just did not fit in that suit whatsoever. But I'm glad that they incorporated that with this new sculpt. So we got the big oversized shoulders, unnecessarily so, but that's what makes it and gives it the charm of how ridiculous it is in the movie. Okay, so as you can see here, massive shoulders. Okay, brilliant accuracy there. And another bit that's accurate is of course the necktie. So where it fastens around the neck on the first one was very much thinner and it was at a point, it was a lot sharper. And here, as you can see, it's a lot fatter and it's rounded at the edge. All right, so another bit that's accurate. So well done for NECA for getting that detail right. Okay, along with the upper torso. Now we're going to spin it around and we're going to take a look at this cape. So as you can see here, completely different pattern than the first movie figure. I honestly didn't realise that it was a different pattern to the cape. I guess it was just a silver and black that just made me think, okay, it's the same cape, but it isn't. As you can see here, we have a floral rose pattern. Yeah, an imposing, menacing villain is meant to have a flowery pattern on his cape. I don't really understand how that works, but regardless, the pattern itself and the design is awesome. So hats off to whoever they get to do their soft goods over at NECA, because they did a smashing job with this. Awesome pattern, maintains its shape, drapes down real nice, and another bit of detail from the second movie that's different from the first is it's not fastened around his neck anymore. No, it just flows and drapes from the shoulder pads, and that's how it looks. All right, so we've got a wire here, and the wire is wrapped around the peg in which the shoulder pads pour into. Now, there is no wire that runs down either of the seams, it just flows loose, okay, whereas the first cape did have a bendy wire. I'm not mad at it. It is something that, you know, they could have added, but in this case they didn't, and this does just flow and drape naturally down. So yeah, props to them for smashing it out the park with the cape. And in terms of the rest of the deco, as I stated during the painting part, when it comes to the arm guards, the shoulder pads and the shin pads, all pretty much the exact same deco as we got from the first release shredder. So no new ground being broken there. Although I did just notice, considering that one is on the buck from the first release shredder, that the belt area where you have the sculpted and the fabric is actually switched between the two. So on the original, the fabric's on top, sculpt's at the bottom, and it's the other way around here. Well, it is on mine anyway, so not sure if that's a valid change or just a QC difference. So that is the official shredder, and now it's time to take a look at my one. So bringing him forward, and again starting from the top, working our way down, and we're going to take a look at this crown. Now, if you're new to the channel and if you haven't seen the original video of the build for this figure, I will tell you now that this crown here was a joint effort between me and my friend Jordan, who is a 3D printer. We both collabed in putting this together. So we took an STL file of the original figure's crown and we modified it. Okay, so I guided him in telling him what to add in terms of the serrated edge spikes and increasing the thickness of the horns. And he was a man behind the computer manipulating the STL file ready for printing. So shout out to Jordan for that, because I'm 100% happy, even to this day, even now, with how it turned out. Obviously, it's not completely movie accurate, but I was happy for it enough to be on the shelf. But there was one key detail that NECA missed. I wish NECA had included. It was something that me and Maverick spotted when we saw the promotional images of this guy, and that is the angle of the crown. Now, as you can see in this reference photo, the crown itself is at a lower angle. Okay, it's tilted down, narrowing Shredder's vision, and that's what makes his ridiculous crown more menacing and imposing, is how far forward it leans. So as you can see on mine, when I attached it, the parallel edge to the bands is this top edge here, okay? Not the lead and bottom edge, but this top edge here. This edge and that edge is parallel, giving it that tilt. So when you look at it from the front, it's right forward, menacing and imposing. But if you look at the official, it's dead straight. The bottom edge ends up being parallel, and it is another one of those details where I wish NECA had actually included it, and a modification is in order. And shout out to Maverick5 UK, because he has done just that, and you can see a post of how he did it on his Instagram, which I'll link in the description. And from here, we're going to take a look at the gold paneling around the shroud for mine. Again, this was a process that took quite a long time for me to do, but again, extremely happy with the end result, with the overlapping, much like the official. As you can see there, here's a back-to-back. Really happy with how both of these turned out, to be honest. Not only with my own result, but of course with what NECA gave us. Okay, pretty much looks spot on, besides the colour. So job well done on both figures in that regard. And now we're going to focus on the cape. So as you can see, yes, I have just used the cape that came with the first figure. So instead of modifying it to fit underneath the shoulder pads, I've simply just left it on the clasp. And lastly, going over the hands again, and as you can see, not to do with colour this time, but with sculpt work, I have included the gash that is on his hand, okay? As I had to modify this hand to get rid of the claws, I included the gash when resculpting the tendons for his knuckles. Another detail missed in the official. Okay, to tally up this round, we're going to start with mine, and we're going to start with the crown. Now, I'm not going to award myself a point for the crown because I didn't actually do the work in making it. Props for that goes to Jordan, who did the hard work. As I just aided in the design, the actual making of it goes to the man himself, Jordan, so no points awarded there. But I will give myself a point for the detail of the crown tilt. Seeing as this is a first shredder release buck, no big hefty shoulder pads for me. Original release cape, but that second point for me is coming in with the resculpt of the hands. Moving on to the NECA with the movie accurate sculpt for the crown, the upper torso and the awesome details in the cape. They get the 3 and they get the round. And moving on to the final round, round 3, and that is accessories. Now, from what you can see in front of you, you're probably thinking, no, it's no question, Ben, it's a landslide to NECA. But don't be hasty. Let's go through them first and let's just see who really is the winner of this round and the whole thing in total. So this time we're going to start with mine. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got an alternate set of hands. Okay, open hands. Again, left hand got modified because of the claws on the back of the hand. Had to take them out and re-sculpt it. And as you can see, in accordance with the details that I've added that NECA didn't, all right, they are battered and bruised. Okay, and again, accompanying the sculpt work of the cut to the back of the hand and the red washes to give you the aesthetic that they've been through the ringer. Next up, we have one of the most painful accessories that I've ever had to make, and that is the dandelion. Okay, so as I said in my build video for this guy, I stayed up to about 3 in the morning watching some French lady and teach me how to papercraft. And as I was watching them, I was doing it also. All right, so as you can see there, complete papercraft dandelion. I could have made it even bigger, but I had to get some sleep. So unfortunately, it ended up this size. Okay, but pretty happy with the end result regardless. And my custom shredder has a dandelion to play with. And after that, we have the TGRI canister, and this came with the token Raza at the time, and no modification needed to this. This is standard that we see across the board, but an absolute must accessory to add to my one. Okay, and that is literally it for the accessories regarding my figure. Switching gears over to the official, and let's take a look. Again, we have the TGRI canister. All right. We have this ginormous thing, huge weapon. I don't think we've seen this before. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. All right, we have this gigantic staff blade, not even sure what it's officially called. And we do have the dandelion, perfect size, screen accurate, and love the colors. Okay, so yeah, nicely done with the dandelion on this one. And we have not just one set, but 2 sets of alternate hands. Again, we have open hands, as you can see here. And then of course we have the weapon gripping hands. And there we are. Okay, all can also grip the dandelion, lacking the added detail, which I wish they had included, of the beaten and bruised and battered hands. All right, so they're just standard flesh color for those. And then the last accessory comes with is a sword and sheath. Okay, nicely done. I believe it's the same sword that we actually got with the weapon accessories, but this sheath is pretty sweet. Okay, with a nice rope wrap around it, really well sculpted. Okay, and it slips in there just well. But he barely used any of this. Of course, the hands are a given, the TGRI canister is a given, and the dandelion. But when it came to the sword and the staff, not once did he have these in the movie. Of course, they've added these in there to beef out the contents in order to justify making him an ultimate figure. I understand. And last but not least, we have the small vial of ooze, in which Shredder drank all of it. So, point to NECA for the screen accuracy of the dandelion over mine. Point to me for the extra added detail on the hands. But there is no denying it. Third point goes to NECA for the sheer volume of accessories. And at the end of the day, the more accessories a figure has, the more value it has, the more posability it has, and the more options you have for a display. And that is all 3 rounds done for both figures. So now let's move on to the final result.
Yes, come forward. Attack me if you will. When it is over, you will call me master.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner, NECA are victorious, and I am really happy about that. As this is a figure that a lot of us have been waiting for, especially us TMNT fans, it'd been really disappointing if they had missed the mark with this version of Shredder. And even though there are a couple of details that really did bother me that they didn't include, overall it is a fantastic figure. Well painted, well sculpted, and I'm happy to put him in the reserved area on my shelf that was being kept warm by my custom. And that will wrap it up for this one, guys. Thank you so much again for watching. If you enjoyed this one, please give us a little thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. And for now, that is a wrap. So until next time, take care.